Hey everyone, it's Rashni and I am here with a what I've learned / vent video. I'm not really sure what to title this one, so I'm just going to give you guys the story and let you guys come up with your own idea about this and even give me some feedback. Okay. I hurt myself earlier this year, as you guys know, and I did a video about it. I was diagnosed with severe tendonitis in both knees and both ankles and have been spending thousands of dollars on medical treatments and tests all year. I was wearing knee braces, etc., could barely walk, extreme pain, yada yada. I had a handicapped parking tag, and so while I was having that tag, I was able to park in the handicapped spaces. You know, when you pull up to the businesses or at my job, I could park in the handicapped spaces. It was a temporary tag, so eventually the tag expired because there's a date on the temporary tags. Well, I was going to try and get an extension and go through the whole thing with my doctor, but the place that I needed it the most was at work because we have a huge parking garage situation at my job, and obviously I'm at work the most. So I was saying that my tag expired one day at my desk, and one of my coworkers pointed out to me that she actually parks in the handicapped spaces, and she had gotten permission from the security officers at our building because we have like a campus and it's a private parking garage situation that we have. We have multiple ones. And so it's not the public streets that these handicapped spaces are on or the public parking spaces. It's just for my job's business complex. So anyway, she had gotten permission from the security officers. She pointed out to me that maybe I should just go ask them. Because at that point I was kind of in a place where I was still in pain, but I was trying to decide what I was going to do. Long story short, I did not go and I did not get the extension on the temporary tag. I went to the security officers at my place of employment. I explained to them the situation. I showed them my tag. It hadn't expired yet. And they said to me, it's fine that I can park in the handicapped spaces by them. So I had the approval of the security officers. Every day that I go to work 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I park in the handicapped spaces. Unless I get there super early and I can park close enough to the building, because it really is a humongous parking complex. And ironically, before I hurt myself, I used to park as far away as possible so I could walk, but because now. So anyway, my knees have been pretty okay lately, but as it got cold, one of my knees started kind of reacting to the cold weather. And since I already had my okay from them to park in the handicapped spaces, and since the handicapped spaces, there's a lot of them and they're usually pretty empty. It's not like I'm taking up space from anybody. The spaces are never always full. I decided I was going to keep parking there because it's cold and I did feel a little weirdness in my left knee recently. All right, so first of all, let me premise this by saying I'm a little ticked off right now, but I'm trying to use this as an opportunity to learn a lesson and to share this with you guys, because hopefully it will educate other people about something, or maybe it'll tell me that I'm not on the right track. But either way, I just thought it'd be a good time to do this video. So now, where I park in the building is right outside the security officer's office, and it's like a glass building, so they can look out of the door and see my car. They patrol the parking garage and they see me all the time. They wave at me, they say hi, they know I'm parking there. I come out of my building today and I have a note on my vehicle. I didn't know what it was, but here's a note, because I just got home, and the note says 1 Peter 2:13 through 17, Romans 13 verses 1 through 5, if you are going to display a Christian license plate, please do not shame God by parking illegally. The world is watching. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 3. God bless you. Okay, so I found this on the windshield of my car underneath the windshield wiper. I'm going to read you the scriptures because I didn't even look up the scriptures. My husband, when I just walked in the door, my husband looked up the scriptures because he and I called him when I was driving home because I was pretty like, what? 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 Say what? Say what? What just happened? Anyway, so I'm going to read you guys the scriptures. I'm going to tell you what I think, and then I'm going to get off this camera. All right. 1 Peter chapter 2, 13 through 17. I mean, the scriptures make it even more unbelievable what just happened to me, but I got to get this out. I really do. Chapter 2, verses 13 through 17. This is on a note on my car. Therefore, with minds that are alert and fully sober, set your hope on the grace to be brought to you when Jesus Christ is revealed at his coming. As obedient children, do not conform to the evil desires you have had when you lived in ignorance. But just as he who called you is holy, so be holy in all you do. For it is written, be holy because I am holy. Since you call on a Father who judges each person's work impartially, live out your time as foreigners here in reverent fear. Okay. Next one that they left on a note on my car. Romans, ooh, praise saints, chapter 13, verses 1 through 5. Let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, whoever rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. For rulers hold no terror for those who do right, but for those who do wrong. Do you want to be free from fear of the one in authority? Then do what is right, and you will be commended. For the one in authority is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid. For rulers do not bear the sword for no reason. They are God's servants, agents of wrath to bring punishment on the wrongdoer. Therefore, it is necessary to submit to the authorities, not only because of the possible punishment, but also as a matter of conscience. Next scripture. 2 Corinthians. Remember, this is all on a note on my car in the parking lot of my job from apparently a fellow Christian. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 3. We put no stumbling block in anyone's path, so that our ministry will not be discredited. Okay. Now I'm going to say what I'm thinking. And I'm going to ask God to help me to explain this to you guys as quickly as I can. Yeah. And to be a light. And to be a good representative for Him. What I have learned lately is sometimes Christians are not a light in the dark world. We're embarrassing to God. We are a dark spot in a dark world. We take on more responsibility for judging people than I believe God gave us. And we tend to try people based on their actions and then expect people to try us based on our intent. Sometimes we don't have all the information about a person's situation or circumstance. And so it is not our job to be their judge and jury. We are supposed to give people grace because we only have a small amount of information. And so assuming the worst first is not grace. It's condemnation. And it's taking on the role that God has to judge that person, when we're supposed to be a conduit of His love and His light. Now, we're not supposed to condone sin. And I think this person thinks that what they're doing is helping me. But I think it's embarrassing to God, because I think that this person believes that they have the right. They know what my intent is. The assumption is that I am doing something that is not okayed by the authorities, which is what that scripture said. So they've already condemned me in their head. They've obviously been walking past my car every day and getting really annoyed that I have Psalm chapter 3 verse 3 on there. For thou, O Lord, are a shield to me, my glory, and the lifter of my head, because of my depression issues. Because He really is my glory and the lifter of my head. And I have that on my license plate. And something about that has been annoying them because they have a small amount of information. So am I mad? I'm not mad. I'm sad. I'm annoyed. My flesh is annoyed by this. And my first thought was write them back. Write something on the thing and tell them about themselves. Not tell them about themselves in a bad way. Tell them about themselves in a godly way. You know, hi, I'm so sorry that you are upset about it, but I have cleared this with the security of my building. Have a Merry Christmas. You know, you do that. But you know what? I don't have to explain myself to them, because ultimately I know that I'm okay. But the thing is, the thing that's horrible to me, I had another person tell me a story this week that made me feel sad. They opened up a business. They moved into their business space, and there's a Christian counseling place next door to them. So they're moving into their business space, and the Christian counseling place, there's a lady that comes over before they even get really good and moved in, assuming that they will be a rowdy business, and pretty much addresses them like, you know, we're a Christian counseling place, and, you know, we want to make sure that you know we need you to be quiet, and, you know, and they haven't even asked anything. So they've already assumed that this person has a negative intent. And so I'm not sure if I'm making sense in saying this, but this kind of thing here, I think this is embarrassing to God. I don't think that this is how God expects us to behave. And I don't think this is us being a light in a dark world. It makes me sad, because it means that we're being, this is why people don't want to come to God sometimes. This is why people think that Christians are hoity-toity, holier than thou, and hypocrites. Because it's not our job to judge people. It's not our job to come at people and just laying out what we think is their sin, because we are not the judge. I have to keep learning how to extend grace. And my assumption is that this person, I'm going to assume that this person had a positive intent behind that letter. That's what I'm going to assume. So what I've learned, you guys, because I got to go get something to eat, I just got home, is, we are not other people's judge. Sometimes I don't have all the information, and so if it's in my area of concern but not my area of influence, then I need to butt out because I don't have nothing to do with that. If I see somebody doing something and I don't understand it, I shouldn't just jump to conclusions because I probably don't have all the information. And by all means, I probably shouldn't write them a letter without my name, right? Because in my mind, if you're going to put all this information on here, sign your name so I can talk to you. And that's all I'm going to say about that.